Power 92.
We are
#1 in the streets.
Put some respect on it. Put some respect on it. For real, man. You got to put some respect on this right here. We should call this Respect Radio right now. Because it's major respect in the building. DJ Farris, the heavy hitters, you know how we do, man. My boy DJ Nathis. And in the building, I got the legend, man. Right here in Chicago, in the flesh, right here in the studio, my homie Jay Prince is in the building. What's going on, family?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad to be here, homie. I'm glad to be here, man.
For these young bucks, man, you know, the old cats, every old cat that's anybody knows who you are. For these young people, why don't you give them a little slight introduction, man?
Oh, man, they call me Jay Prince. You know what I mean? I started Rap-A-Lot Records in 1986, and, you know, I'm behind a lot of movements that's going on, beginning in the South. And I definitely graduated and diversified my portfolio in the boxing world and so on. So that's a little bit about me.
What made you want to start a record label and get into the whole music business?
Well, I got in the music business because of my brother. You know, his name was Sir Rap-A-Lot. So I named my company after my brother because I didn't want to see him in the streets. You know what I mean? So I told him, I say, man, you do this rap thing, and I'm going to handle the street business. And I'm going to pay for your studio. I'm going to do whatever you need. Just give me your word you'll stay away from the streets. And he ended up getting him a 20-something year sentence.
Ooh. Man. And boxing. I heard you speak on boxing. That's one of your first loves. You had something going on with Floyd Mayweather. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I decided to diversify my portfolio and go into boxing. You know, boxing was always my first love. I got distracted with the music game, and when I decided to go with the boxing game, I built a recreation center in my hood that consists of a full-court basketball facility, weight room, computer room, and then I went on to build a boxing gym right next to that. And I fell in love with the sport of boxing all over again, watching the amateurs. So I decided to arrange a meeting with Mike Tyson. And I flew out to Vegas to see Mike Tyson. You know, went in the gym with Mike Tyson, watching Mike Tyson spar. At the time, Mike Tyson was the man. Yeah, so I went at the best, right? You know what I mean? Sure. I even prayed and said, God, bless me with a champion. Because everything that I tried to attain in life, all my goals, all my dreams, you know, I would pray on them before I go after them. So I went, you know, in that gym, and I'm watching Tyson, and Mayweather came in the gym, and he kept on, you know, he introduced himself, and he kept, you know, asking me questions, you know, telling me he listened to rap a lot and stuff like that, which eventually, you know, he gave me his number and said, hey, man, you want to do something tonight, give me a call. I didn't know who he was. You know what I mean? I didn't know who Floyd was. So I went to Tyson's house, and, you know, Tyson called his wife and said, I want Prince on my management team. So I left his house happy. The next day I called Mike Tyson. The phone was cut off. You know what I mean? His manager had heard I came in the picture and unplugged the situation, and I was left with Mayweather's number. And I asked my friend, I said, what's this guy, man? He said, this Floyd Mayweather. He's a 130-pound champion. I'm like, whoa, I prayed for a champion. So, bam. A week later, me and Floyd was in business. I managed his career for the next 4 years, and the foundation that he's eating off of today, I helped lay that foundation.
That's dope. You well respected in the business. Do you think the situation with Tyson where the dude cut his phone off, why you think he was intimidated?
Yeah, well, you know, boxing is a cutthroat business like the music game, you know what I mean? And if people feel you're a threat, you know what I mean, and they feel like they got a good thing going on. And, you know, Mike a sharp dude. You know, Mike Tyson a sharp dude. And I took him for his word when he was like, hey, I want you to be a part of my team. So I don't think it was a coincidence, you know, I couldn't reach the man the next day.
For sure. Mike Jones, you got a question?
Now, I got to ask you, being a part of such legendary, diversified portfolios, which was harder for you to break through in, boxing or the rap game?
The rap game. Rap game, and it's simply because I was already seasoned from the rap game when I went in the boxing world. You know what I mean? I had already blazed a trail in the music game. I learned a whole lot of lessons. You know what I mean? Got a whole lot of game, and I was able to take the ingredients, the successful ingredients. You know what I mean? Once you know them, you can apply them to any game.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was smooth sailing. It was some bumps. I
Right.
wasn't welcome. They didn't welcome me with open arms
Right.
because, Floyd had some people in there that didn't like me coming aboard at all. But he stood strong. He stood by me, and you can see where he is today.
Sure. One of the biggest groups from your label was the Ghetto Boys. So I'm gonna say, mind playing tricks on me. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, that song right there mean, it took me 7 years to really kick them doors in that I wanted to kick in the music game, and it was that song that really done the job for me because up until then, radio, video wasn't embracing us. I had to create everything from controversy, you know what I mean, press. We had to build and sell records based around that. But the Mind Playing Trick song was undeniable.
Had to
You know
let
what I
it
mean? Yeah, it just demanded that respect.
Well, back in the day when you was creating your empire, the East Coast was kind of like it was all East Coast hip hop. You were like the first to break through and change that, from
Yeah.
the whole thing. As a matter of fact, me and you are just meeting all these years later, but we had something in common. We had the #1 show out here, period. Ghetto Boys Radio was the
Yeah.
biggest thing to
Man.
ever touch the airwaves of
Yeah.
Chicago, and just
Yeah.
the shock of the whole, wow, they playing this gangster type music.
Yeah.
It had never touched the radio. It was a big chance that we took, but it was very, very successful. So it's finally a pleasure, man, after all these
Yeah.
years to
Yeah.
bump shoulders with you, man. I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it because it catapulted my career
Right.
to another place,
Well, man, hey, I appreciate you being as down as you was. You just brought all that back to me.
Yeah, man.
Live on air. I
Yeah.
remember that now.
Yeah.
And you was a soldier about that situation, and I appreciate you, man.
Bruh, I used to spend hours and hours cleaning
Yeah.
up records. Wasn't no clean versions really back then. So,
That's
you
right,
cleaning
that's
up
right.
every day. And that music,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Tell some of the people, can you run down a few people on the roster from Rap A Lot so they'll understand? The young
Yeah,
ones.
The Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Devin the Dude,
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Mike, UGK, you know what I mean? Bun B and Pimp
Pimp
C.
C, yes.
You know what I mean? My hands was on that. A lot of people don't know my hands was in Pow Wow, Mike Jones.
Yeah.
That's his name, Mike Jones.
Yeah,
And
of
you
course,
even had a
Drake.
Chicago act, didn't
Yeah,
you?
Do or Die.
Yeah.
Snipers.
Yeah, Snipers.
You know what I mean?
Chili.
Yeah,
What up, Chilla?
Zero, Trey,
Mm-hmm.
The Truth. It goes a long ways.
Definitely. Mike?
Oh man, I gotta ask you. Another one of your greatest hits, since you're the original Ghetto Boy. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Now, word from our president. I gotta know what made you rap on that, because you was always behind the scenes, but you spit a
Yeah.
verse on that one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was feeling it like that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I actually not only spit a verse, I wrote 2 verses on that song.
Okay.
And it was one of the rare moments where, I would write with them all the time, but never make it rhyme on my own.
Okay.
I actually done the whole shebang on that one. And, I wanted to come from that perspective, that president perspective, and I was before my time, you know what I mean, on that verse, but it fits right in place today.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah.
classic.
It damn it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Mike Dean, you got a relationship with Mike Dean? I heard he was one of the cats. Like Mike, I heard produced a lot of tracks for the whole label back then.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Dean, what's up with you and him?
Yeah, me and Mike Dean super tight. You know what I mean? I helped build and shape Mike Dean. When Mike Dean came to Rap A Lot, Mike Dean just knew how to play a couple instruments. And I put Mike Dean under every producer I had, including some that I didn't have, to get different sounds and different feels. Even Dr. Dre. I sent him out there to L.A. when Dre was working with Scarface, because Dre had a sound that when we put our wax, in clubs, it was always louder than mine. I'm like, what is this dude doing? So I sent Mike Dean down there to bring that formula back, and he did.
And man, that dude is a beast nowadays. He just
Yeah.
works with Kanye. I sat in with him when I was working with Kanye, and I never seen a dude play guitar with one hand, keyboard with the other. And he say, man, I learned all this back in my Rap a Lot days. He say, I used to do all the records back in Rap a Lot.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's finally a pleasure to meet you and see, you know, he spoke so highly of you, man, when we hung out. Mike, you got some more?
Oh man, of course, man. I gotta ask. Now you've had many legendary artists on the label, like you just stated. Which of the ones do you wish could have been bigger? Like you feel like they didn't get they just due?
Well, one album in particular that come to my mind that I felt like should have been a huge album was the Odd Squad.
Ooh,
I don't know if y'all remember
yeah.
the Odd Squad.
Yeah, I used to like them
Yeah, Devin the
cats.
Dude was in that group. And,
Yeah.
I felt like that album was a monster. It was before its time, and I didn't have the major machine to really pop that like I felt it should have been popped.
That was for sure, messing over yo for sure,
Yeah.
trying to get some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my joint.
Yeah.
Now you in Chicago. Let everybody know why you here, man.
Oh man, I came to Chicago because I'm touring where my book is concerned, The Art and Science of Respect. And you know, I've been to a lot of different places, but you know, I tell everybody as I travel around the world, Chicago is who embraced my movement first. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's no secret what the Chicago and the Midwest done for Rap a Lot when the South couldn't even relate to us totally. You know what I mean? The Midwest did. So I'm forever indebted to Chicago.
Oh yeah,
and
Chicago,
I love the
love
city.
it. Chicago was a gangster rap town.
Oh, yeah.
Always
Definitely.
have been, for real. I was even scared when James said, "Let's do Ghetto Boy Radio." I'm like, man, that's hard. That's too hard. Man, Chicago fell in love with that. In that
Right.
book, what are you hoping to teach some of these people out, some of these cats out here, man?
Man, you know, in my book, I'm sharing a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You know, it's my biography. It's how I turned nothing into something. And you know, a lot of people, you know, as I travel around the globe, they want to know, man, how you done this? When? What? Where? How? In my book, I'm giving away a lot of game, a lot of formulas, a lot of blueprints. You know what I mean? A lot of creative metaphors of how to, you know, deal in a cutthroat business. And then I go as far as sharing my spirituality, sharing, you know, my wins, my losses. You know what I mean? Real personal things where I'm concerned, because a lot of people want your glory without knowing your story. And I don't want nobody to think that it was easy for me.
Okay.
All right, speaking of which, now you've been a part of a lot of legendary deals out here. What's one that you wish you could have like closed, or it was like this close to you almost had it and it kind of slipped away from you?
Vanilla Ice.
Word?
Yeah,
Really?
Vanilla Ice, man. I had Vanilla Ice, you know what I mean, in the city for like a week in my studio, and I left it in somebody else's hands. I say, sign this dude. You know what I mean? He gonna be something. And, you know, I went back to focusing on the wrong thing, and when I heard that song, Ice Ice Baby, I started celebrating. Oh, I got one. And I called the homie up, you know what I mean, my partner at the time. He said, man, I didn't sign him. I didn't like him. I said, but I told you to sign him, right?
Wow.
Yeah, this dude sold 13, 14 million records.
Yes, he did. And was major. That was like major and crossing hip hop over to the white audience. That
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah.
Open up a lot of ears, man. You got more, Mike? I know you.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I mean,
Go ahead,
reading
next.
that part because it was dude Cliff was right. Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff, yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
but the great part that I respect about what you said and is that I can't blame Cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You took personal responsibility
Yeah.
for it because you left that to somebody else to handle it, and they didn't.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's missing in the game right now. A lot of people don't really take responsibility for their own actions right now. They just blame everybody else for
Right.
everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
No,
you know-
you can't do that. You know, you can do that, but you're going to make that mistake again if you do that. So I had to take responsibility of myself not being focused. You know what I mean? Even though he was supposed to have been focused, you know, I had opportunity to be focused as well. So I took that on me, and it made me do better moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you're an inspiration to so many people, but who inspires you or has inspired you?
My inspiration came from, you know, my parents. You know what I mean? My mother, my father, my grandmother, you know, as far as business and different things like that was concerned. Now, I definitely was inspired by the Def Jam movement, you know, Lyor Cohen and what, you know, Run DMC and all of them was doing back then. And the biggest inspiration came from a check that Lyor showed me, a LL Cool J check, Houdini check. I'm like, whoa, y'all getting this kind of bread? You know what I mean? So, yeah, a lot of it came from there.
All right, all the new schoolers, they can kind of associate you with Drake. How did that whole relationship come about? Let them know about that.
Yeah, with Drake, my son, I got to give my son Jazz Prince. You know, he discovered Drake on MySpace, you know, brought Drake to me, played Drake for me, and I didn't hear what he was hearing. You know what I mean? I let it be known. I say, man, this dude's singing all over the place. You like this? And he like, hey, Dad, it's the new sound. You know what I mean? He was convinced, you know, before he was proved. You know, this is the new sound. And I tried to break his spirit again. I say, hey, man, you know, this don't sound right. You know, this dude is harmonizing and, you know what I mean? I ain't used to hearing this.
Yeah.
He say, but you told me, you know, about the buzz. He said he's buzzing. So since he was a little kid, you know, I taught him the importance of a buzz. Every marketing meeting, every week, I'm asking all my street team members, what's buzzing in your city? What's buzzing? What's buzzing? What's buzzing? So he used that same lingo that I had been teaching him, and he got my attention. And I confirmed that it was a real buzz. And, you know, that's when we brought Drake to the U.S.
Now look at it.
Yeah.
Biggest artist in the game.
The rest is history.
Why did you did the beef between him and Pusha T?
Well, because, you know, when different things cross the line where music is concerned, then, you know, somebody have to have some sense to, you know what I mean, put that to bed. And that was the reason behind that. You know, it crossed the lines where music was concerned. You know, Pusha got real personal, you know, talking about the man mama, his daddy, you know, a man that's, you know, dying, terminally ill. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I see what direction this going in. You know what I mean? So that's when somebody with some sense have to say, hold up, you know, we're not going to allow another Biggie and Tupac situation to be feud. And then everybody be like, if I would, I could, I should.
That's what I was about to say. Did your knowledge from what happened with that Big and stuff? Because I heard you like personally gave Big some advice. That could have saved his life. Is that true?
Yeah, most definitely. And not only that, all through life. You know what I mean? Because I'm from the hood, so I know where those type of situations go. You know what I mean? Even when you and a homie is ranking in the hood and you go to crossing the line talking about your mama, you got to fight on you.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean? We ain't gonna play them dozens in the mix of ranking. So you can imagine, you know, which direction that was gonna head when we all met up.
Oh yeah, and as a man of respect, I gotta ask you, since you're in Chicago and this is a Chicago connection, years ago, it shocked the city. How did you link up with Larry Hoover to be on that Resurrection album? Yeah,
well, you know, I had opportunity. Hoover extended the invitation that I come and meet with him, and I did. You know what I mean? I went and had a meeting with him the first time. He and I had the opportunity to chop up game, and I was impressed. You know what I mean? I was impressed with the man's thinking ability. You know what I mean? He's a sharp brother, and he's a brother that would make a difference in Chicago today if he was free. So, you know, it started there, and it was, you know, so insightful until I wanted to share it with the world. You know what I mean? So it was my idea. I say, man, let's kick some game. Some of the same game you kicking with me on wax so you can hear. So the world can hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And, of course, I done that, and I got all kinds of, you know, intimidating phone calls and threats that I better not release it and different things like that. But y'all know what I done.
Oh, yeah. Keep it G all day. Let's do this real quick. Pay a bill. Power 92 #1 in the streets. Follow us on social media. Power 92 Chicago on Instagram and Facebook. And Power 92 Shy on Snap And we're going to keep y'all just plugged in, man, and tuned in. Jay Prince is in the building. 773-375-9248. Chi-Town, put the guns down. Turn up the music and rock with power. We be back. Hey, man, hip-hop royalty is in the building.
Yeah.
You already know what it is, my man, Jay Prince. Tell them the name of the book, man, and where can they get it?
The Art and Science of Respect. You can get my book at Barnes & Noble, iTunes, Apple, Tidal. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can get it.
And what are you hoping, once again, for the cats out here in the street that maybe cats that want to do business the right way, get into the music business, et cetera, et cetera? What kind of inspiration or what could you tell these cats, man?
You know, this is, my book is full of game. You know what I mean? One of the biggest deals I ever made is one of the chapters I wrote in my book, and it was about my transition that I made from the streets to corporate America. And I wrote about that being the biggest deal I ever made, in spite of making a bunch of $1 million deals. It was the biggest deal I ever made, because if I don't make that transition, then I don't be standing here today. You know what I mean? So I know there's so many homies that's in bondage, you know what I mean, trying to make a decision on corporate America versus staying in the streets. And this book is going to help you make that transition.
Mm-hmm. And I suggest if you got a loved one that's locked up or something like that, cats that's locked up, I think they all need to get a copy of this book. Send your loved one a copy of this book, man. Respect, the Art and Science of Respect.
Yeah.
We got a movie coming, man.
Yeah.
Do we got a rap-a-lot movie or something? The story of we got a movie coming.
Well, you know, I've been having a conversation with a few guys about doing the movie, you know what I mean, because of this book. And it's going to cover it all. Matter of fact, there's some things going to be in that movie that's not in the book. You know what I mean? So
definitely
looking forward to that.
We look forward to that. The young ones, how can they follow you? Give them your social media stuff.
At Jay Prince Respect. You know what I mean? I'm live and living color on that. You know what I mean? At Jay Prince Respect.
Go check them out. Hit them up on social media. Follow them if you ain't following them. Get you some knowledge. Grab the book and learn something today. You can learn a lot from this man right here. He's been doing it for a long time. My doors, of course, are always open for you. Big time. Big homie. When you come to town, come see us, man. We all going to copy this book. Check it out.
Appreciate
Copy,
that.
read it, and get some knowledge for it and move forward. And we look forward to the movie and much more.
Oh, yeah. And to the youngsters out there, y'all, let's get off of that IG and embrace the OG.
I like that one right there.
Yeah.
I like that one right there. Definitely. We appreciate you for coming. Real Radio, Jay Prince in the building, y'all. Definitely. Let's love. Let's get it.
Wave and just so many different styles, and that now that I'm in another point in the game where like I've had a lot of success, I've had number ones and stuff like that. I want to bring that same type of influence and the same type of, you know what I mean, wave. So it's like this album is as important as an opportunity to do that, and the music on there is a perfect representation of me, you know, attempting